Yeah, Kelly, buyers seem to be ready, but sellers not so much. We visited this open house in Atlanta on Saturday where about a dozen masked families came through over the course of 2 hours. The lack of listings, which was pretty bad before the pandemic hit, is even worse now.
As we begin to slowly reopen our economy, data shows that many Americans are starting to consider buying a home again. Let's go over the data together. As expected, buyers that were on the sidelines are now rushing out to see homes. Rates are so low, it's encouraging even those who weren't thinking about buying to get pre-approved. And experts expect the trend of low rates to continue through the second half of the year. Another reason many people are considering buying is securing their cost of living. Median rent has steadily increased since 1960. People who are in a position to buy right now have the opportunity to lock in a crazy low rate and secure their monthly payment to protect themselves against inflation-adjusted rent. In other words, rent will continue to increase due to inflation. If you can take advantage of these historically low rates and lock in a low monthly payment, you don't have to worry about your monthly payments increasing next year or the year after that. Think about this just for a second. Not everyone is in a position to buy a home right now, right? I get that, I understand that. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. Whether you require flexibility or just not ready for the responsibility that accompanies being a homeowner, people have their own reasons and that's okay. But here's the thing, if you're financially stable and you have the savings required for down payment, closing costs and so forth, if you've always wanted to buy a home, if you can find a mortgage payment that's similar to what you're already paying in rent, wouldn't it make sense to lock in a monthly payment and start building equity sooner rather than later? Rent's always going to increase. It has always increased since the 1960s, and I'm sure you can think of a few people who complained about their rent increasing recently. If this resonates with you or if this sparks any questions, feel free to jump in the comments, or if you want to talk more privately, drop me a message. What's important to me is making sure the correct information is in front of you so that you're able to make informed decisions in a time when there's a ton of fear, uncertainty, and false media. Homeowners who are currently selling are firm with their prices right now. Data shows that sellers are just not adjusting prices due to COVID-19. But here's the thing, we just don't know what the long-term effects will be. Yeah, mortgage forbearance is currently protecting homeowners from going into foreclosure, but what happens after the allowed 12 months is over? What about unemployment? A huge question I have is how many job losses will be permanent? Many companies are rethinking their business model. They're asking questions like, do we actually need that expensive lease? Do we need that brick and mortar location for our employees to come in and do work? Or can they do it remotely from home? Which positions are actually essential to our company? These are questions that are going through these CEOs' minds. Now, if these job losses become permanent, I can foresee a downward spiral on home prices, especially if a slew of foreclosures start popping up. What are your thoughts on that? When do you believe home prices are gonna drop? This year, next year? Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. Because right now, low inventory and high demand are what's keeping prices high. There are just too many buyers wanting to buy and not enough homes for sale on the market to meet that demand. Serious buyers and sellers should keep their trusted resources on speed dial. The landscape for real estate is shifting constantly and there's a ton of uncertainty and fear in the market, so it's important now more than ever to make sure you're receiving solid information from the people you trust. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment or a message. Cheers.